Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So if you're new here, it's lovely to have you. But if you're old, hey boo, it's nice to have you back. We are in the Christmas season and today we're going to learn how I make my delicious brunyankwine, my delicious chicken light soup. Every household in Ghana cooks this meal every Christmas. So I'm going to take my time to explain how I'm able to achieve this consistency of soup. So please pay attention and let's get right into it. So I'm using this number of tomatoes. Now the tomatoes are medium sized, they're not big. So we're going to say they're about 6 medium sized tomatoes, okay? Because there's 4 medium sized and then there's 4 little ones. So let's say 2 of the little ones is 1, okay? So we're going to prep all our vegetables and then we're going to boil it. Some tomatoes, some onions, some garden eggs, and some red scotch bonnet pepper. So another thing to note is that I'm not going to use all of these garden eggs. If the garden eggs are big size, I use just 2. But these are about a medium-sized garden eggs. So I'm going to use 3 of them and then I'm going to leave the rest for later for whoever wants it on their food, okay? So make sure you wash the vegetables really well before boiling them. And I'm going to boil this until they are all cooked, especially the onion, so it can blend easily. You need to take note of your garden eggs. Make sure that they are good and not spoiled before you blend them, because bad garden eggs, you don't want that in your soup, okay, at all. And then also I don't use too much garden eggs because garden eggs sometimes can be sour and then also bitter, and then also it can thicken your soup too much. So I don't use too much of it. If you don't want your soup to be too thick, please cut down on the garden eggs, just as I've done. Now we're going to blend our spices for to steam our meat or our chicken. I have some basil, I have some thyme, fresh basil, I have some onions, ginger, garlic. It's quite close to the usual spices I've been using. The only difference is probably a fresh thyme and then the fresh basil that is in there. So I'm going to leave all the ingredients in the description box below. Please check them out and then go according to it, and I'm sure you're gonna enjoy this so well. Also, I'm adding some complete seasoning to it. I just added Badia and then I'm adding Adobo as well. We're gonna add a little bit of water and then blend it until it's smooth. Make sure it's very smooth, especially the ginger, because that tends to take longer to blend, okay? Now we're gonna enjoy this soup with fufu. It's very aromatic, it's very, I don't know, anytime I cook this food, I feel so good. I feel like it's close to Christmas because we usually make this around Christmas and it's to die for. Now the color of this spice combination or this ingredients combination just makes me so happy because it just brightens up the soup and it's just fantastic, okay? Now I have washed really well my chicken. So I'm using chicken layers. This is 2 of them that I cut. I made the guy at the poultry farm cut into pieces for me. I like to do this over there so that when I come back home to cook, it's really easy for me to cook. I just wash it nicely and then I'm ready to go. Now I'm going to pour all of these spices or combination or concoction over my chicken, and then I'm going to make sure you rinse your blender really well because you don't want to leave any of that goodness in there. Pour everything over your soup or over your meat, and then after that we're going to add some salt and then we're going to cover it and cook it. Now we're going to steam this chicken for between 10 to 15 minutes, or let's say between 10 to 15 minutes, okay, before we add our vegetable blend to it. Now I'm going to blend my vegetables with the water that I used to cook it, because I always believe that some of the nutrients may have gone into the water and I don't want to get rid of that. So in there I have my tomatoes, my garden eggs, my scotch bonnet, and my onions. Now you also need to make sure that if you want to have a lighter consistency for your soup, you need to measure the quantity of ingredients or vegetables you're using against the proteins that you're using, okay? So that you don't have too much soup over your meat or over your chicken or over your protein. Otherwise, you're going to end up with a thicker consistency because the soup is not supposed to be big. Also note that I added just 1 tablespoon of tomato paste. This is just to give it a little more color and then to probably thicken it a little bit because I'm not using too much of the other ingredients. And also note the quantity of tomatoes that you use. There's nothing wrong with cooking with just one tomatoes if it's just for you, or if the soup is very small or very little quantity. Okay, so please take note of all these little things, and I'm sure you're going to reach the consistency that you desire. So what I like is I like to strain my vegetables into a bowl and then leave it for when I need it. You know, traditionally our mothers would just go over the pots, the hot pots, and then sieve it there. No, 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 no. I'm not going to burn my skin over one small chicken soup. So you need to be careful of the heat and the steam that's coming out, because you can hurt yourself. Our mothers, I don't know the kind of skin they have, but they are magical and they are heroes. We don't want to play like that right now, okay? So now is a good time for us to add our vegetable blend to our cooking pot, and now look at the color combination. I die for this all the time. So because the vegetable mix was thick, I'm going to add some water and then I'm going to mix it up. Now when I stir it, I'm going to test for the consistency or the thickness of the soup. If it appears that it's too thick for me, then I'm going to add a little bit more water. But because the pot is full, I'm going to leave the soup to cook for just about 10 minutes, or let's say 5 minutes, for the water to go down a bit before, or for the soup to go down a bit before I add some more water. Here I'm adding my chicken stock cube and my shrimp stock cube, and then nothing more is going into this soup until it's done. Except we have to taste for salt and probably add more salt later on. So you're going to give this a good stir and then cover it. One thing to know is that at this point, this soup is a little thick, okay? Now if I'm going to let this thing cook until it's done, I'm going to end up with pretty thick soup. So you need to make sure you're going to add water later on. If you have space in your pot, go ahead and add it, and then you don't have to add water later on, okay? And also note that as you boil the soup, it is going to lighten up some way, somehow. So please be careful, and you may want to cook it a little bit before you have to add some more water. Okay, I hope that makes more sense. And also note that if you want to be adding water to your soup, you need to do it at the early stages. You don't want your soup to cook before you add the water. When you do that, you're going to end up with overcooked soup, number one. Number two, because you may not want to overcook your soup, it's going to taste like water and soup mixed together. It's not going to like marry and then be one, if you get what I'm saying. So make sure that all your additions of water that you're going to add to your soup is going to be done at the early stages, so that you can just leave the soup to cook and then just exits its flavors and then come together and be one beautiful, aromatic, delicious, tasty chicken soup. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please do so now. Please hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you're notified anytime I upload a new content. I have so many beautiful, great videos on this channel, so please take a look at them as well and give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to share as well so that your friends can benefit from it. Now, this is the consistency of soup that we are looking for, and it's a good time for us to taste for salt before we finally turn off the fire, okay? This soup is so aromatic. When I say it's good, trust me, it is really good. All my tips and tricks are here. So if you follow them, trust that you're going to make some delicious chicken soup for the New Year's. Please don't forget to subscribe. There's so many good stuff coming up. And thank you all so much for 1,000 subscribers. I hope you guys are enjoying the holidays and you're celebrating safely, okay? Make sure you're keeping safe and you're keeping your family and friends safe as well. So I made the chicken soup twice in a day. I made some early on and then I made this later in the day. So we're going to have this soup with some fufu. I mean, what's chicken light soup without fufu? It is complete. And you know what? Usually when I make my fufu, I'm going to add some garden eggs and some boiled okra on it. But my mom never used to give us okra. No, she didn't. So I'm not going to add any okra this time. I just want to feel traditional with it. Okay, just as it was in my home. Now look at this beautiful soup. The soup has exerted all its beautiful oils, and the aroma is just amazing. I mean, anybody you give this soup to is going to come back to your house. Maybe they'll just stay because they wouldn't want to leave the soup behind, or they wouldn't want to leave this great cooking behind. You're going to get all the thumbs up. You're going to get some tips from your husbands, from your boyfriends, from your moms and dads, and you're going to feel proud in your own skin, okay? So please don't forget to subscribe to this channel, give this video a thumbs up, and enjoy all the other amazing recipes on there. We're going to be posting another video very soon, and I hope this soup or this recipe today is really helpful. It's the Christmas season. Eat good, enjoy, have fun, spend some time with family, enjoy love, and spread love. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me today. I'm glad to have you all here. Have a good time and have a Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year. 2021 is going to be beautiful and fantastic. See you.